Hello, welcome back to my channel, and a happy Thanksgiving to you if you celebrate it. Today I'm going to do my ranking of all the Return the Living Dead Dolls Series 1, not counting Lou Sapphire. And I have some revision notes from my videos of all the dolls that I wanted to update with this ranking. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, in front of you is all the dolls, including the Comic-Con exclusive Eggy of Doom right there. Eggy of Doom, unfortunately, I can't find her coffin, which has her accessories, but for the most part, she has all the important accessories that pertain to her. So, I have her displayed with them. Also, Eggy of Doom will not be ranked individually. I consider her part of Eggy. So they'll be ranked together. So in front of you is what all the dolls came with and the accessories, minus Eggy of Doom. And I just really want, especially if this is your first time on my channel, just a brief overview of all the accessories they have. And you can see where it thins out when we come to Posie. Okay? So one of the things I wanted to point out, so Posie, for example, I paid the most of all of them. And I didn't realize that Mezco, by the time Posie shipped, they added a special handling fee for the quote-unquote tariffs. So I ended up paying $11 in addition to shipping and taxes. Now, I had rewards points from Mezco, which was only $6.25. So I only paid half of that handling fee, more or less. So she came out to $148.28. She would have been $154.53 if I didn't have the rewards points. So keep that in mind. Okay? So I'm going to do from worst to best. So we are going to start with Posie. Okay. Again, beautiful doll. Beautiful doll. It's just the lack of accessories and the fact that I paid so much more for her in comparison to the others. Even Eggy of Doom, the Comic-Con exclusive at I believe Horror Hound in the fall, was cheaper than Posie. Just keep that in mind. Okay, and just real quick, here's her mask assembled. 3 hands. This useless chain. And her cloak. And that is it. And that's why she ranks low on the bottom of the list. Now, overall, she's not a bad doll. I think she's beautiful. I actually spent a little time with her in terms of like having her in front of me on my table in my living room so I can look at her. I really just enjoyed her. But again, this is all she comes with, and I paid almost $160 for her. Okay, just keep that in mind. All right, so that is my worst, is Posie. Now, I know this is going to sound controversial, but the next worst, or I should say number 4 out of 5, is going to be Damian. Now, Damian is second to Sadie in terms of the accessories. So, so he had a wealth of accessories. Now, in my video of the individual Posie review, I mistakenly said that Posie was the only doll that didn't come with a second pair of eyes. I didn't realize that I was basing it on Sin and Damian. Out of the 5, they were the only ones that had changeable eyes. So they had different sets of eyes. So my apologies for that other, that remark on the Posie review. But again, I had these 2 back to back, so I'm thinking Sadie had eyes and Eggy had eyes, but it was just Sin and Damian, and Lou also has secondary eyes. So he comes with his mask, his faceplate. his extra hands right here, extra set of eyes, these beautifully detailed books with a leather strap with real buckles. Okay, this ruler, which again, not part of his original design. Like I said, they went all out on him. His wig cap that gives him that blunt bang look that you see on his coffin right there. And here, his coat and his Jughead Jones type hat, which is called a whoopee hat or a whoopee crown on the Mezco website. Okay, and for him displaying, I have him next to his coat, so he's not wearing his coat, and I kind of have the books stacked, and all the other accessories like the extra eyes, the skull cap, and the hands are kept in his coffin. So he's a well-made doll, but my biggest gripe with him is his hat. How do you make a hat and not have it stay on his darn head? Like, it just, you know, it's like it doesn't stay on his head. You know, it should cover his head. Okay? And other than that, oh wait, I'm sorry, I forgot. His slingshot. Why doesn't it come with a ball? I don't understand that. When you have a slingshot, it comes with a ball. The other two dolls of his that had a slingshot, they each had a little ball attached to it. Someone in the comments of my Damian video gave an explanation. I guess it made sense, but it's still, how do you have a weapon, which is known as the slingshot? You launch things at people, at things. You have a ball, you have an object, and this always had a little ball attached to it. So I don't understand why they couldn't give him a ball. It wouldn't have cost any money. It would have been a little piece of black cotton ball to stick into the leather strap. Okay? Especially since the slingshot is so well made, you know. Now, the book in his hand is from the Killer Fashion Pack, which I also did a separate review. So he's holding that one because I wanted to keep his books together like this. So I thought it'd be cool to have him with the book. And for Damian, in terms of price point, he was the only doll I did not order from Mezco Toys. I actually saved a ton of money buying him from Entertainment on Earth. So I had a coupon, and they had like I want to say there was a Thanksgiving sale. So I was able to save $20 on him. I just paid $100 plus tax. And because they have, I think $75 was the threshold for free shipping, that's why I got him for free shipping. So, you know, again, I say worse, he really is not a bad doll. None of these dolls, you know, they are excellently made dolls. Okay, but I've said enough with Posie. And again, with him, I just wish his accessories actually, you know, worked. You know, I wish he had a slingshot with a ball, and his hat, I wish, just stayed on his head. But as you can see, in comparison to Posie, you can tell he was a fave in terms of the characters, and they went all out on him. And this coat here, as I mentioned in my Posie video, is an homage to his Resurrection variant, which came with a coat. Now, the coat, which is displayed with him, because of the material, it does pick up a little bit of lint. Easy to pluck off, but because of the material, it does collect that. But other than that, that's it with him. And again, he's a great doll. I just wish his hat fit on his head and he had a ball in his slingshot. But he's still great because I only paid $100 for him. And that is Damian. And he will be number 4 out of 5. Okay, coming in at 3rd place will be Exorcist. So she has on the table all her little bugs, which what she has about in here is for these little roaches. I believe she has an extra hand in comparison to the other dolls, I think. Hold on real quick. Yeah, she has 6 and they mostly have 5 hands. Okay, and Posie, again, the least amount of hands. This amazing mask. I love this mask. And this is just 2 of the 4 eggs she comes with. So let's bring Eggy here. Here's her death mask. This is a whole head assembled, very similar to Posie's design. Okay, and here is the Eggy of Doom. Now, I have them compared together because it's basically the same doll, but oh my god, can I tell you how much I love these accessories? If you watched my video of her, highly recommend watching that in detail. But one of the things I loved about her variant is that she reminds me of Donnie Darko's Frank the Bunny. And I just thought she was so cute. And I love the fact that the little bug juice on the face is very subtle. And of course, she glows in the dark, which that's amazing. And now let's go back to the original Eggy. I love this doll, and she's grew more on me. The problem I had with her was really the hands. The hands weren't so easy to take on and off and changing. I actually appreciate the eggs and the worms. And that's her other. So she has like 2 more roaches. So in comparison to Sadie and Damian, I think she's the 3rd doll with the most, with just as much as accessories. And look, she even has these little centipedes are on her costume. I really love this doll. And honestly, until I saw Sin, I actually would have had her at number 2. But again, 3rd place is definitely not the worst. I just like the other 2 dolls more in terms of the execution. But by no means is hands down. Honestly, Eggy, along with the Eggy of Doom, really would tie for 2nd place. But and in case you weren't familiar with, she comes with these great little detailed eggs in her basket. I got the worms. And I display her just like that, and with the Eggy of Doom with the sign. They actually are on the same shelf together. I have them together. Really cute. And for Eggy, in terms of price, so Eggy of Doom, again, cheaper than Posie. Comic-Con, well, Mezco Direct exclusive. She was priced more because she was a Comic-Con exclusive. She was priced at $125. And basically, with tax, she came out to $133.28. Now, moving forward, when you do order any of these dolls, with the exception of Lou, it's going to be that they're going to add that handling fee, I believe. I did test it with Posie. They will add that handling fee of $11, so just warning you right now. Then, of course, the tax and the shipping. When I first bought Sadie and Eggy, the shipping was only $13. It is up to $15. And if you purchase Loose Sapphire, that shipping, for some reason, goes up to $20. Now, I know shipping's based on your location. I am in the Garden State. And so that's the shipping rate for me. And the fact that it has gone up and that $20 is insane. I don't know if Lou has the handling fee. I just know when I tried to order him before Posie came out, I noticed the jump in shipping. So, anyway, so that is Eggy horror the Comic-Con exclusive $133.28, and Eggy here $141.81. Okay, and that's with a shipping plus a tax. Okay, so those are the Eggy dolls. Now, this really surprised me. The OG girl, the mascot of Living Dead Dolls, Sadie, she's actually number 2 for me. And again, not a bad doll. I loved her. I thought she was excellently made. She, like I said, she and Damian, they went all out in terms of the accessories. She has this amazing cloak. Here's a little sunglasses. That's how I display her with her accessories. The only thing I do not keep displayed is her mask and her hands. And here she has 3 hands. Total 5 hands. And here's her mask. Her flowers, which is made of the same material as Posie's. Her cute little bed, or little teddy bear, or little deddy bear. Traditional coffin purse, which opens and closes. And her cleaver, that says Sadie, which really should be a knife. She has a knife, but the cleaver's cute. And she comes with a little hair clip. But of course, the accessory that is chef's kiss, my favorite accessory, the tombstone, which I wish all of them came with. I don't understand why you make something so cool as this tombstone and then you don't give it to the other dolls. It makes no sense. I don't get it. And of course, her tombstone is where her death certificate was. I mean, you open it on the side, and it just so disappointing that none of them have. And I'll still harp on it. I'm sorry. I will still harp on it. I would have loved this tombstone, because when you display them all, you know, it sticks out like a sore thumb that she comes with a tombstone and they don't. Granted, they do come, with the exception of Posie, with other cool accessories, you know, so I do acknowledge that. But at the same time, look how cool this is. And it has the original photo art that's on her chipboard. Well, I'm sorry. This is the original face of the Series 1 doll from 2000, which is really cute. And, you know, it has the tagline of the doll series, overall, the Living Dead doll series, Deader is Better. And the date she died, April 26, 1969. Like, I love this tombstone. And she herself is just a beautiful doll. Like, oh my gosh, I love this Sadie. And again, this is what sold people on the dolls. I get it, you know, so you are going to give it all the bells and whistles. But to be fair, when it comes to Sadie, you know, it is expected that she has certain accessories, you know, like the bouquet of flowers, the coffin purse, and supposed to be a knife. That is standard of Sadie. Even her resurrection had those accessories, so that comes with Sadie. I believe Sadie was influenced a little bit by the movie Megan, especially the first Megan, because Megan had a coat that was very similar to this half coat, half capelet of sorts. And, you know, again, I don't put it on her. I like her the way she is. And they just did a great job with updating the look of her dress. And she's just so beautiful. She's such a beautiful doll. Everything from the dress, the socks, the shoes, just really cute. And like Eggy, I paid the same price, $141.81. And again, moving forward, I believe if you buy Sadie, Eggy, etc., you will be paying not only the shipping, but also the handling fee. So keep that in mind. I will definitely look around, see if Entertainment on Earth and Big Bad Toys gets them back in stock. Those sites, you can actually save money on shipping. Well, Big Bad Toys charges you a flat rate of $4, and Entertainment on Earth, it's free. And these dolls, just one doll exceeds the shipping threshold for it to be free. So again, keep looking on those sites. I highly recommend that. if you can avoid buying it through Mezco. That's just my advice for that. Anyway, so that is Sadie. Okay, which means my number one, the best of the 5, is Sin, in my opinion. I just loved her. And the thing is, one of the biggest obstacles she overcame for me was that face. It's not as cute as Eggy and Sadie, or hell, even Posie, but it just grew on me again as a huge fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I just loved how she looks like a vampire at the same time as looking like a devil. The introduction of the I don't call them devil hands, I call them rock hands, because you do that at a rock concert. And she is just, I just love her. I think she's the best of the 5. Again, my opinion. And with Sin, now I also had rewards points I was able to use towards her. And for some reason with Mezco, in the past orders, with the exception of Damian, so apparently I didn't have enough points for Sadie and Eggy. But after I had, bought those dolls, heck, the Wednesday doll I also bought from Mezco, the first Wednesday doll, I had points, and I had like a good 2 years before they expired. So I didn't understand why I couldn't use initially for these 2, but then by the time I got to Sin, I actually was able to use $14.48, which pretty much wiped out the shipping for her. So I pretty much paid like $1 left over from the shipping. By then it went up to $15, and I paid taxes basically. So she came out to $128.50. Okay, and just a reminder, she came with these secondary eyes. She came with these hands right here. Alternate face mask. Okay, her pitchfork, her flame pedestal, the flame crown, and of course she came with her satanic cape. Okay, not to be confused, which again, I made a mistake. I called this a cloak. A cloak has a hood. Capes do not. So, yeah, just something that I actually forgot about. And when I was talking about her, I called it a cloak instead of a cape. But I also associate capes with, superheroes. So that's why cape didn't come to mind. That's why I called it a cloak. But it's a cape. Posie's is a cloak. And again, like Posie's, it has a little bit of wiring. It's not lined. It's a much thinner material. Again, it's a cape. And she comes with these shoes. If you watched my other video, it's like an upside down cross. She has a little detail ruffles. Okay, look at her crown. And like I said, the biggest obstacle she had for me was that face. And I think that's why of all the dolls, she has not been waitlisted. She's widely available on Mezco. And it's a shame because she really is a cute doll. And like I said in my previous video, I thought it was very ambitious of them to lean really hard on the devil aesthetic, giving her those shoes, giving her this very scary looking mask, really gruesome mask. She'll never wear this mask. Like I said before, like they really leaned into it, and I think they did a great job. That's why with Lou Sapphire, I'm so disappointed because all they did was paint him red and just borrow her accessories. And Lou Sapphire, he was a devil, or he was Satan incognito. Even his name is a play on Lucifer. Lou Sapphire, Lucifer. Get it? And and it was kind of disappointing that with Lou, it just was just borrowing from Sin. And you know, they borrowed practically everything from Sin, but they didn't give him the flaming pedestal. Like, why didn't they give him this? I didn't get that. And don't get me started with his cane and his little pinky ring. But I love her. She's my favorite of the 5. Took me by surprise. I just really, really loved her. And, you know, she didn't come with a tombstone, so that says a lot. But I loved her, and I think she's a really cool doll. And I feel like she's underrated in comparison. Especially when you compare it to Posie, because Posie seems to be a standout fave, you know, behind Sadie. And I just think Sin kind of gets overlooked because over the years, Sin and Sadie, it's always the inverse of the two of them, you know, like their dresses were very similar. They'll change out the material for the dresses, but they're pretty much the same. And with Sin, like her dress is a different style, really cute skater dress style in comparison to Sadie. And I just think she did a great job. They did a great job with her, and I highly recommend her. So that is my overall ranking of the Fab 5. Not sure what the future holds for the remainder of the series, if the whole tariffs are going to be an issue. I have to admit, Lou was pretty much, for me, a pause in collecting them, because it is expensive, and you know, to ask fans to pay $120 for dolls, it's not sustainable, especially when all these dolls in their previous incarnation were only like $24, and they came with like I said with Sadie, she came with her knife, she came with her coffin purse, she came with the flowers. Damian, he came with his stack of books, his slingshot, you know, and a hat that fit for $24. So I don't know how sustainable it's going to be. I mean, the other dolls of their OG run cost more, you know, and they're desirable because, again, they are getting harder to come by. But that's just any of the doll market of older dolls. But asking new fans to commit, I don't know how much it's going to survive. And with Lou, I'm really waiting to see what they do with the others, if they're going to do series 2. But I wish they jumped around. I think they should really jump around. And according to Damian, co-creator, he said they were going to do new characters. So let's see if they do the new characters. I actually don't think they're going to do new characters, because not all these characters sold out. Like I said, poor Sin, she was the only one that never got waitlisted like the other dolls. And they're back in stock. All of them are back in stock, with the exception of the variant Comic-Con exclusive Eggy. And actually, this Eggy is on the wait list too, but all the others are widely available on Mezco's site. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it wasn't too much of a rambling. And, you know, like I said, try to shop around. And again, definitely check out those other sites of Entertainment Earth and Big Bag Toys for these dolls. They keep going in and out of stock. And like I said, just save money, because they are expensive. And honestly, do you need to have all 5 of them? I don't think so. But for me, I've been a collector of Living Dead dolls for quite a while. So for me, I had to have the Fab 5. That might not be something you want to do, especially if you own the originals, you know. But definitely, you know, shop around. And stay tuned for more videos. They'll be coming soon. And I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. And if you are the one cooking, I hope someone does the dishes. And as always, happy hunting.